Alright, so now that we have chosen our domain name, it's time to roll up our sleeves and start building our website. Now, before we do that, before we actually get into the website builder, I actually just want to give you a couple general rules that you need to follow when building your website. I always look at it this way. Anybody can build a website, but not everybody knows how to design a website. And there's a difference. When we're building, I mean, if you're building a website, you can either do it yourself or pay somebody to do it, right? And doesn't mean you're going to make money with it. Designing it means that we're going to design our website so that it sells. And so that's the whole purpose of our website. So I'm going to give you some of those general rules that you need to follow in order to make sure that we're designing our website so that it sells. So the first thing I like to do is I always like to create what I call a wireframe. And the process of creating a wireframe is just kind of coming up with the idea or the structure of our website. So to do that, we're going to do step one is we're going to sit down with a piece of paper and we're going to list out all the main pages, that our site's going to have. For example, maybe our home page or About Us page, or our Contact Us page, FAQs or privacy page, or even just our testimonials page. So these might be our main or top level pages. Number two, or step two, is then to categorize your products. So for example, if we're selling electronics, I know that's pretty broad, or golf equipment, whatever we want to choose, let's say golf equipment, then I would categorize them into drivers, putters, irons, wedges, golf clothing, golf shoes, those accessories, GPS devices. I'd start categorizing those because those would also become pages in my website. And then finally is step three, I'm going to create my page hierarchy. So it may look something like this after we've gone through this process. We've got our home page, and I generally draw this out on a piece of paper. I've then got my top level pages like the About, Contact, Products, Privacy, FAQs, Terms, whatever. And then underneath my Products page I'll have Category 1, which might be drivers, Category 2, which might be, like we said, putters, Category 3, which might be irons, and then wedges and equipment, and then or clothing, and then shoes, and so on and so forth. Then under each of those categories I'm going to say, alright, maybe under the drivers I might now have categories by brands. So I might have Titleist, I might have TaylorMade, I might have Nike, and so on and so forth. And then under the specific categories I might have the different brands or different product lines under a specific category. So if we're sticking with the golf, we might have like the Big Bertha Titleist or whatnot. So we might just break them out into the different categories. I wish I could say I knew all the different brands. I'm a TaylorMade man myself, and so I don't know all the different brands, but you get the concept here. Okay, so here's some just general rules when designing your website. The first thing is your site needs to be very clean and very professional. We don't want to have something looking like it's a 4th grade school project. I mean, it's got to be clean and professional, and we're going to give you a little bit more details of what to do as you get further along into building your website. You want to make sure that it's designed to the purpose. So what do you want the customer to do on the page? So whatever page you're designing your site, think about, what do I want them to do on this page? If it's to get them to click further in your site, great. Then the whole purpose of that page should get them to click further in your site. If the purpose is for them to buy that specific product, great. Then the whole page should be designed around, how do I get them to buy the product? Another example, if the purpose of the page is to get them to put in their name and email to your newsletter form, then great. The purpose of that page and the page should be designed so that it accomplishes that task. Another thing is your site needs to be easy to use or easy to navigate. I like to apply what I call I don't call it this, but I like to apply the KISS principle. Keep it simple, sweetheart. We do the clean version here, but it's the keep it simple, sweetheart, easy to use, easy to navigate idea on your site. Don't use any more than 3 different font styles. You start getting a bunch of different font styles, you start to confuse the customer, and it really just doesn't look congruent throughout the whole site. Don't use too many different colors. Okay, another thing on colors, don't use too bright of colors, and make sure the color that this color scheme you've chosen for your website matches your product line. For example, if I were selling you know, like high-end baby products or whatnot, I probably wouldn't use a lot of reds. Red's not necessarily a bad color, but I want to use softer colors, more kind of to hit that mothers and grandmothers market. But again, we're selling baby products. When you think of babies, you think soft, and so I might go with some pastels and different softer colors and whatnot. Okay, and then avoid background colors which make text illegible. I see this all the time and it drives me nuts. I just immediately leave a site where you see text on a colored background, and it makes it very difficult to read the text. So I like to keep, you know, a white background or very, very soft color in my background, so that way where the text is, so that way they can see it. Now I'm not talking about the background of the site. It may be colorful, but that where the text is needs to be, you know, there needs to be a big contrast there so it's easy to read, specifically white with black text or darker text or whatnot. Okay, and then there's something we call the ugly site syndrome, and that doesn't mean I want you to go out and build on purpose an ugly site. But when you look at Amazon, for example, who happens to be the #1 e-commerce website on the planet, their site will not win awards for being pretty. It's just not going to do it. But I believe their revenue for last year was $14.7 billion, and that seems very pretty to me. Okay, so pretty doesn't mean like, yay, it can fold, the site can fold and it can talk to you, can do all this fancy cool stuff. No, is it designed to the purpose? Amazon has a very, very methodical approach to web design. It's very, very structural, easy to use, easy to navigate, easy to find what you're looking for. That's what we want to mirror. So if when you're designing your website, you'll follow some of these general rules, general principles, you're going to have a website that converts well for you. Now there's some other things we need to go through to make sure it converts well, but these are just some of the general rules that we have to live by to design a website that's going to be effective, like we said before, one that converts or completes its purpose. So make sure you follow these rules as you go throughout the process of designing your website. Make sure you're following these rules. Hopefully that's helpful, and we'll see you on the next video.